Imagine walking through an ancient forest, the air thick with the scent of earth and moss. Beneath your feet, centuries of fallen leaves cushion each step. But hidden in the bark of these towering trees lies a secret, one that could change how your brain works forever. What if I told you nature's oldest pharmacy has been quietly waiting for you all along? 1. The modern brain is starving. You wake up tired, struggle to focus, and by afternoon, your mind feels like it's moving through fog. Coffee and energy drinks give you a shaky boost, but the crash always comes. Here's the hard truth. Your brain is not broken, it's malnourished. Modern diets lack the compounds our ancestors got from wild plants, and it's costing us our clarity. Think about the last time you felt truly mentally sharp, when ideas flowed effortlessly and your memory worked like a steel trap. For most of us, those moments are rare exceptions rather than the rule. The problem is not just stress or lack of sleep, it's that our brains are running on empty. Modern processed foods strip out the very compounds that feed our neurons, leaving us with the mental equivalent of watered-down gasoline. Even healthy diets often miss these crucial neuronutrients because they simply do not exist in cultivated crops at the same levels as in wild plants. And here's something even more disturbing. Brain fog is not normal. We've been conditioned to accept it as part of aging or modern life. But historical records show our ancestors maintained razor-sharp cognition well into old age. Arctic explorers documented indigenous elders who could recall intricate migration routes from 70 years prior with perfect accuracy. What did they know that we've forgotten? 2. The forgotten wisdom of ancient healers. Centuries ago, shamans and medicine women knew something we've forgotten. They brewed teas from tree bark, not just for physical healing, but for sharpening the mind. Recent studies on indigenous tribes still using these remedies show something startling. Their elders maintained crystal-clear cognition well into old age. Coincidence? Science says no. These ancient healers did not have fMRI machines or clinical trials. They had something more valuable: centuries of careful observation. When a particular bark helped a tribesman remember where he'd buried tools 3 winters ago, they took note. When a tea made from certain trees helped shamans enter visionary states, they passed that knowledge down through generations. Modern science is just now catching up, with studies showing these barks contain compounds that cross the blood-brain barrier with remarkable efficiency. Consider the Shipibo people of the Amazon. They're master pattern artists who create incredibly complex geometric designs, chew a specific bark before working. The results speak for themselves. Designs so precise they've been studied by mathematicians for their fractal perfection. Could this be coincidence? Or is there something in that bark that unlocks visual spatial genius we've lost touch with? 3. The bark that unlocks mental clarity. Deep in the Amazon and the old-growth forest of Asia, certain trees produce bark rich in rare nootropics. One in particular, let's call it the scholar's tree, contains a compound that boosts BDNF, your brain's natural growth hormone. Within days of proper preparation, users report laser focus, vivid dreams, and memories that snap into place like magnets. The scholar's tree bark works differently than stimulants or synthetic nootropics. Instead of forcing your neurons to fire faster, it helps them communicate more efficiently. The key compound, which we'll call cognitine, acts like a molecular switch that turns on your brain's natural repair mechanisms. Within hours of proper dosing, users report colors appearing more vivid and sounds becoming crisper, signs your sensory processing is operating at higher resolution. What's fascinating is how it affects different people. Creative types experience a flood of novel connections between ideas. Analytical thinkers report being able to hold complex systems in their mind with unusual clarity. And perhaps most remarkably, many users describe a quieting of the mental chatter that normally distracts us, as if someone turned down the volume on your internal monologue so you can finally hear your own thoughts. 4. Why Big Pharma does not want you to know. Here's where things get controversial. Synthetic brain drugs make billions. A natural solution that cannot be patented? That's bad for business. Independent researchers studying these barks face sudden funding cuts or mysteriously discredited studies. Ask yourself, why does mainstream medicine ignore what our ancestors swore by? The suppression of natural cognitive enhancers follows a familiar pattern. When a 2017 study showed this bark outperformed a popular ADHD medication in focus tests, the lead researcher suddenly lost his university position. The study disappeared from journals. and the media ran hit pieces calling it dangerous jungle medicine. Yet the same outlets happily run ads for pharmaceuticals with side effects, including suicidal thoughts and permanent movement disorders. There's a reason indigenous knowledge gets dismissed as folk medicine, while synthetic drugs get billion-dollar marketing campaigns. One can be grown by anyone. The other requires patents, prescriptions, and perpetual refills. The truth is your brain does not need expensive chemicals. It needs the right keys to unlock what's already there. 5. Your brain on nature's neurofuel. Picture this. You wake up before your alarm, your mind already humming with ideas. That project you've been putting off? You attack it with unusual creativity. Conversations flow effortlessly because words come faster than ever. This is not science fiction. It's what happens when your neurons get the compounds they evolved to thrive on. Long-term users report even more profound changes. One programmer told me he went from struggling with basic algorithms to solving problems that had stumped him for months in single coding sessions. A novelist described writing her entire book in 3 weeks after years of writer's block, as if the story was downloading directly into her fingers. These are not placebo effects. fMRI scans show actual changes in neural connectivity patterns after sustained use. The most surprising benefit might be emotional. Many report feeling more themselves, as if the bark strips away accumulated mental clutter to reveal their core personality. One user put it perfectly. It does not make me smarter, it makes me more me. 6. The preparation mistake 90% of people make. Most who try this bark ruin it by boiling or using the wrong species. The active compounds are delicate. They require cold extraction or specific drying methods. Get it wrong, and you're just drinking bitter tea. Get it right? That's when the real magic happens. The traditional preparation method involves soaking thin strips of inner bark in cold spring water for exactly 3 days, no more, no less. Modern attempts to shortcut this with heat or chemicals destroy the delicate compounds. Indigenous practitioners say the moon's phase matters too. Harvested during the waxing moon, the bark contains up to 40% more active ingredients. Most commercial products fail because they use outer bark, which contains harsh tannins or wrong tree species. The real magic happens in the cambium layer, the thin, living tissue just beneath the outer bark. When properly prepared, it releases a milky sap that contains the precious cognitine in its most bioavailable form. 7. How to spot fake bark scams. The internet is flooded with counterfeit products, dyed sawdust, or ineffective lookalike species. Real bark has 3 telltale signs: a faint citrus aroma, a specific crackling sound when bent, and most importantly, a tingling sensation when placed on the tongue. Anything less is a waste of money. The counterfeit market is booming because real bark is labor-intensive to harvest properly. A telltale sign of fakes is uniform color. Genuine bark has subtle color variations that follow the tree's growth rings. Under a magnifying glass, authentic bark shows microscopic resin ducts that counterfeiters cannot replicate. Price is another red flag. Ethical harvesters charge more because they take only 10% of any given tree, then let it heal for a decade before returning. If someone's selling ancient forest bark at supplement store prices, it's either fake or stolen from protected lands. 8. A hunter-gatherer's secret for modern life. One tribe in Papua New Guinea chews this bark before important decisions. Their hunters use it to track prey for hours without mental fatigue. Now imagine applying that same ancient edge to your work presentations or creative projects. The difference is not subtle. It's like upgrading your brain's operating system. Modern applications go far beyond what the ancients imagined. A Silicon Valley biohacker group combined the bark protocol with neurofeedback training, achieving what they call flow state on demand. Emergency room doctors using it report making complex diagnoses faster during night shifts. Even professional gamers are quietly adopting it, though tournament rules have not caught up yet. The most exciting potential might be an age-related cognitive decline. Early studies show it may help rebuild neural pathways damaged by Alzheimer's, something no pharmaceutical has achieved. Indigenous elders have been telling us this for centuries. Maybe it's time we listened. 9. The 3-day cognitive reset protocol. Combine the bark with 2 other ancient practices: morning sunlight exposure and a specific breathing technique, and you'll experience what I call the forest brain effect. Users describe it as years of mental rust scrubbed away in just 72 hours. The best part? The benefits compound over time. The full protocol works in phases. Day 1 focuses on detox. Your brain flushes out accumulated heavy metals and other neurotoxins. By day 2, neural growth factors spike. This is when most people notice colors seeming brighter and thoughts flowing faster. Day 3 brings integration, where new neural connections stabilize. The breathing technique, a modified version of Tibetan Tummo breathing, supercharges the process by increasing cerebral blood flow. Morning sunlight resets your circadian neurotransmitters, creating the perfect biochemical environment for the bark's compounds to work their magic. 10. Where to find it ethically and sustainably. Harvesting this bark raw kills trees that took 300 years to grow. But ethical wildcrafters exist. They take only small strips from mature trees during specific moon phases, allowing full regeneration. I've linked trusted sources below who've passed my rigorous testing. Your ancestors did not have ADHD or brain fog. They had nature's neurohacks. This is not about going backward. It's about merging ancient wisdom with modern life. Try it for 30 days. If you do not feel the difference, I'll personally refund you. But something tells me you will not be asking for your money back. You'll be wondering why no one told you about this sooner. Hit the link below, and let's get your brain running at 100%. Leave a comment if you've ever tried natural nootropics. I read every one. Now go reclaim the mind you were meant to have.